Well, before innkeeping, my wife and I were veterans of the corporate workforce down in the Boston area. I was in software, my wife was in financial services, and we had talked, in those days of the 60-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks, wouldn't it be great to do something else? And, we had talked about innkeeping, and finally, in 2002, we decided to take the plunge and started looking for our inn in the future. We just developed a model for what we wanted to do. We wanted to be in a town with a demonstrated tourist history. We wanted to be near the ocean because we're ocean people, and we wanted to be in a place that we've been to before. And had been to Bar Harbor many times, dating back to the late '80s. And it was a place we had a great deal of affection for. So we kind of narrowed it down. We looked in, just to compare, we looked in central and south central Vermont, and there you have markets where your operating season is 10.5 months at 40% occupancy, and if we wanted to do it, we wanted to work hard and have an intense season, and that's exactly what Bar Harbor gives you. Lots of activity and high occupancy. My wife and I had purchased and renovated a number of historical properties over the years, and when we found Bass Cottage Inn, it needed work. It needed a lot of work, but we had done that kind of work before, but the location was the thing that drew us to the inn, because the location is perfect. It's a block off of Main Street, between Main Street and the waterfront, and really easy to get to town. One of the positive sides of working with an inn and renovating an inn that was basically a restart was that we could make everything the way that we wanted it to be. So we had to go through, it wasn't just redecorating, it was moving walls, making sure all the rooms had private bathrooms, which is absolutely required in this day and age, putting in whirlpool tubs, structural enhancements, new wiring, HVAC, plumbing. It's a complete redo under the skin, but we kept the historic aspects of the inn because that's what people coming from certainly other parts of the country really like. They like the fact that it's so quaint and comfortable, but under the covers it's completely modern and completely been redone. Katy is a tremendous draw, and it's the main reason most people come to the Bar Harbor area. We have guests that come every year because there's certain trails they haven't hiked yet. We have guests that come and they do the same thing at each time. It's the natural, pristine beauty that you get away from strip malls and franchise restaurants to something that's real and natural and a very safe environment too, which these days means a lot to people. When people come from Texas or California or England or Germany, they don't know what they want to see. They know they want to have a great time and have a full experience, and they're looking to us as innkeepers to be their concierge, to tell them where the best trails are. And in the year that we were taking to renovate the place, we hiked all the trails that we could. We went to all the venues so we could when we talked to guests, we could speak to them in an informed manner. And we check out the restaurants frequently, which is a hard thing to do, obviously, but we want to make sure that they're consistent because things change, and we want to make sure we recommend our guests. We can control the bed, we can control the breakfast, and how comfortable they are when they're here, but when they're out and about, they want the best guidance, and we can't control it, so we have to make sure that we do the investigation. And it's fun to do in the Acadia area for sure. We've completely redone this inn and built a very, very, very solid book of business. In our operating season, consistently we're 94% full, which is important, but we had always planned this to be our step before retirement, and we're making an orderly shift to our next phase of our lives. Nothing urgent. I'm happy doing this, and we have fun every day doing it. But I think the next person can maybe take it up a notch. We have a restaurant grade kitchen, a commercial kitchen, eating and lodging license, and someone could take on a food service, a restaurant business here in the evening. You can put in a wine bar, small plates. All that stuff is possible, and being so close to town, a block off of Main Street, put in a quiet little enclave here, people could wander down, and that's more upside I think that the next owner could take on.